What's going on, everyone? So, I had a live, and of course, I was not happy with how the game went for Florida. Georgia skull dragged Florida. Listen, I'm not. I don't sugarcoat anything. Georgia whooped Florida. They destroyed them. The score was 43-20, but the game was a lot worse than that. After the first drive, Florida really offensively couldn't really do much. And really, you can't blame that on the players, especially offensively. I blame Billy Napier and his play calling because it was atrocious. To start the game, usually a lot of head coaches, they have a game plan, they have a script, and they go with it. And it was working for Florida. And then, it was 7-3, and then you start getting cute. You start doing reverses and all this stuff, and it's like, why? If everything was working so well, why are you trying to change it up? And, players, they're going with that momentum, and you're just kind of hurting yourself. And to start the second quarter, 4th and inches, the worst play call that I've seen. I mean, seriously, Mertz is what, 6'3", 235 or something like that. If you're going to go for it, I am not faulting you for going for it. If you didn't get it with a Mertz quarterback sneak, you don't deserve to even have the ball. But you hiked the ball under Mertz's legs and try to throw a pass with ETN. Georgia is the number 1 team in the country. They are an experienced team. You don't think they're gonna? You think they're gonna be fooled by something like that? It's absolutely pathetic. Billy Napier's play calling, I mean, really after the first drive, was horrible. His decision making was horrible. I give Mertz a lot of crap, and I shouldn't. After thinking about it, especially after the game, after I'm mad, I'm heated. I shouldn't, because Mertz is not a guy. We all know that he's not a guy to win you a championship or nothing. He's a placeholder. I understand that. Had some people talking in the live chat. They really kind of, I can admit when I'm wrong on some things. And that one, I probably shouldn't be as hard as I am on Mertz. I call him the check down merchant. And, like tonight, you saw 4th and 3, and he checks it down to ETN when there's 2 Bulldogs there. You can do that against South Carolina, but you can't do that against experienced teams, against really good teams. They're going to expose you. And Mertz checked it down, and, Georgia Georgia knew that. But I can't really blame a lot of that on Mertz because this is Billy Napier's guy. So I go back to Billy Napier, his horrible play calling. Listen, Florida Gators, where they got beat down, was in the trenches. Let's be honest. They kicked Florida's tail, okay? I'm not trying to cuss on here, but they beat the mess out of Florida in the trenches, offensively and defensively. Georgia's not a very good sack team. They have 4 sacks in the first half. They don't sack the quarterback. That just shows the offensive line is bad, and I can't put a lot of that on Mertz. Mertz did hold on to the ball for a lot longer than what he needed to tonight. Really the only thing Billy Napier needed to do was not get embarrassed, and he embarrassed the Florida Gators. The second quarter, after the second quarter, or about midway through, you knew Florida wasn't winning that game. Billy Napier was in over his head. He got completely outcoached. That's kind of an ongoing thing. He usually gets outcoached a lot of times. But, he got outcoached by a way better head coach. And, even Kirby Smart's staff is way better than, their defense core is way better than Florida's defense core. Let's be honest there. Austin Armstrong, I'm not sold on him. But a lot of it, can I blame him for guys who can't tackle or who are horrible at tackling? We've seen that for over the years. So, the missed tackles is still there, giving up on plays. You see, Lad McConkey getting a wide open catch and run, just turns around, nobody's there. Shamar James on a knee brace, he hurt his knee before the game in warm-ups, which the whole field was horrible. But, seeing Jason Marshall with, lack of effort. Actually, I saw Jason Marshall playing his best when he was at the line of scrimmage blitzing. I'm like, maybe they should start thinking about him, putting him as the star, as a nickelback or something where he can actually play aggressive. He could play, maybe a roaming safety or something, because man, he looked really good at the line of scrimmage batting down balls. I was like, holy cow, he's making some tackles. It's like he was having a really good game doing that. But coverage, it's night and day. Seeing Lad McConkey just get a wide open pass right on Jason Marshall, but it's not just Marshall. You saw Jalen Kimber, who, came over from Georgia, got beat off the line of scrimmage. Carson Beck with a nice touchdown, really to ice the game away. And but Florida defensively horrible. I said the secondary can be shredded, and they were absolutely shredded tonight. Georgia was the better team. They showed why they are the number one team in the country, and they played bully ball against Florida. And I've always said, if you want to be a Heisman contender or get your name in the Heisman race, play the Florida Gators defense. That's all you got to do. And, Carson Beck with a 300-yard game. Ladd McConkey came in, only had 100 yards in 3 games. He had over 100 yards, had a touchdown. And, it's just the Florida Gators defense is almost looking worse week after week. South Carolina, they were bad. The offense really saved the defense against South Carolina. And, tonight you were hoping the Florida Gator defense would step up their defense of ends and they would get pressure on Carson Beck. That never happened. And if you can win in the trenches, you're going to be in a lot of games, or you're going to win a lot of games, because that's where it starts. If you have a great offensive line, you're going to be able to pass the ball, you're going to be able to run the ball. And the Florida Gators really couldn't do that. After the first drive, getting Eugene Wilson in, man, I was so excited. He had 3 catches, the touchdown. I was like, oh, man, this is going to be awesome. And then it just went downhill after that. And, when you have the momentum, you need to keep the momentum. Billy Napier really caused his team to really just get away from all the momentum, because he called a horrible play call, and just, even when he was trying to get cute on a reverse, it almost, Eugene Wilson pitched it to Pearsall. It almost was even a bigger loss. And, they end up losing, getting behind the sticks. That's not where Florida's offense wants to be. They're not a team. They're a team that wants to stay in front of the sticks and get down third and manageable and get it to the playmakers. But, getting cute, Billy Napier is a big reason why the Florida Gators, not the reason why they lost, but why they weren't competitive. Was Florida going to win this game? I don't think so. I even said that in pregame. But, to make it look like Florida was given a good fight, that went out the window once Billy Napier started doing stupid stuff. And, the blame should be on him. All he had to do was be competitive, and not really many people would say anything. It's like, hey, you lost the number one team in the country. And, he looked horrible. And I think, people are starting to realize week in and week out that the Florida Gators need an offensive coordinator. And, I'm just glad people are starting to see it now, because I saw it 2 years ago. And what I mean by that, because I've been harping on this, I said I do not like my head coach calling plays. I just never seen it be successful. You look at the teams that like to do it, like Lane Kiffin. Hey, his offense looks good, but what else looks bad? Defense usually looks bad. And, you're not focused on all 3 aspects of the game. You're only focused on one side of the ball. What about special teams? How bad is the Florida Gators on special teams? All that's lacking. And when your offense is not going up to par, everything looks horrible. And so, if you're the head coach, you need to overlook all 3 aspects of the game, not just be on one side of the ball. And it's been a mistake. I said it at the beginning, and people are starting to realize it now more week in and week out. People are saying, hey, we need an offensive coordinator. And I'm like, thank goodness. So, people are starting to realize that. And, really, Billy Napier, if he was a decent offensive coordinator, I would say let him keep going. But he's not that. So, I'm going to stay away from the Mertz hate. I know I give him a lot. But, really, Billy Napier needs to really look in the mirror and say, what am I doing? I need people to come in, call these offensive plays. I need one offensive play caller, and you need a special teams coordinator, somebody designated for a special teams coordinator, because it's getting absolutely pathetic and embarrassing at this point. And now you're looking pathetic and embarrassing on all 3 parts of the game, and it showed tonight. So Florida's got 4 games left. They just need 1 win to get bowl eligible. They play Arkansas next week in Gainesville. So, Arkansas, a 2-win team, but they're still a tough team. They give teams fits. And Florida's last 3 games are all ranked teams: LSU, Missouri, Florida State. So Arkansas game is a must win for the Florida Gators next week. But hey, guys, as always, I appreciate y'all watching this channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great one.